Hello, and welcome to the Those Dweebs podcast, where we have a little bit of everything for everyone. Let's roll the d20 of fate and see what we are talking about today.
Hello everyone, and welcome back. It has been a hot minute, and for that I'm so sorry. I have been focusing on life and getting it in order, and I'm finally able to come back and give you a new episode. But first I want to clear up some of the things that have been going on. So first off, I want to say thank you so much for 300 downloads. I think I was at 200 the last time I actually uploaded one of these, so that is incredible. I don't think I've ever seen something actually move up so quickly like that, and for that I am so thankful. I really cannot wait to see where I go from here, and yeah, I'm just so grateful for that. Also, as for those who also pay attention to our YouTube channel, we've been a little slow on updating lately just because technology, and I'm running off of a very old computer, so editing has come to a standstill at the moment, which really sucks because I have several unboxing videos and 3 investigations to go through and edit. So my backlog is insanely high right now. But I really want to thank you all for your understanding, and this is kind of going to become my focus for the time being because I need something to do. And lastly, something super exciting is that we got another investigation booked up for next month, which is super awesome. I've been wanting to get into this place for a while, and the fact that I'm getting to do that in October and with some amazing special guests too, I'm just so excited. I cannot wait. But without further ado, now that I got that out of the way, we are gonna be jumping into some really interesting things today. I will preface this that I was a little lost on what to talk about next after, Lollapalooza and having Spencer on to read the book that he was reading from. And so at my job, I work at a library, I started kind of looking for ideas from different books that I found. And one of the things I stumbled across was called The Green Lady of Scotland. And I just, I've heard states and, other places like that, we always hear about the legend of the Lady in White. But apparently there's also the Grey Lady, which I also have not heard about, but I might jump into after this. Who knows? Maybe it'll make it a little series. But, I don't know, the Green Lady just really fascinated me, and so I had to look into it more. And so today I'm going to be reading from, and I'm going to preface this by saying that I am sorry for my pronunciations. I'm going to try my best not to butcher the language, because it's a beautiful language, and I am so sorry. But I'm going to be reading from the article from Icy Sedgwick. I'm so sorry. I will leave that in the description below whenever I post this, so you can go check it out for yourself. But it is entitled, "These 5 UK Castles Feature a Green Lady Ghost." And so, without further ado, we shall get into this. So, what is a Green Lady? For some, the Green Lady is a nature elemental, much like a brownie, and they are exclusive to the UK. For others, she has some crossover with the Gleistig of Scottish legend. Like I said, I'm so sorry. The Gleistig is a form of spirit which is usually found in the Highlands. The link with the name appears through an alternative name for the Gleistig, the Magden Wene, or Green Maiden. Whew. I was practicing that one, and I still think I kind of butchered it, but like I said, I will be linking it down below. According to Fiona Broom, the Gleistig refers to women who were the quote-unquote the mistress of the house. These enchanted women dislike dogs, prefer to be alone, protect houses, and favor fools and people of weak intellect. Interesting. Despite the slightly negative description, these benevolent spirits protect a home and the family within, much like the Irish banshee. Which is honestly, like, I love both Scottish and Irish, like, folklore. They're always so fascinating to me. So, who knows? Maybe I'll get into the banshees as well. But unlike the banshee, when the family moves on, the Green Lady remains. She then protects the next family to move in. This makes her much more situational and more connected with the land and the property than the individual families. Apparently, farmers strongly believed in green ladies and thought these spirits protected their cattle. In these tales, the ladies led cattle to shelter before a storm broke or stopped them from being stolen. In some legends, the Green Lady also links with water. She turns up at a house soaked to the skin and asking for shelter. If the family lets her in so she can warm up, she stays and protects their home. From what I can tell, the author of this says that they can't find out what happens if they say no, but they presume that they just kind of move on to the next house that will allow them to come in. Now, one of the bigger questions is, why does she appear in green? I guess there are like a lot of different reasons that the author of this article has found, and like some of them I'm just like, that is definitely not at all what I would have ever expected, but let me get into that. In one version of the legend, the Gleistig was a mortal noblewoman. In some tales, fairies grant her wish to become one of them. In another, she is cursed by the fae, and ends up an immortal being with the legs of a goat. The flowing dress hides these bestial legs. Though I'm also agreeing with the author, I don't understand how that would translate to a green dress, but it is what it is. And then some believe the spirit is simply that of a woman who died while wearing a green dress and spends eternity sporting the color. I feel like, for me, I could see that being like the wearing a green dress, or like it being a mortal noblewoman. Like, I could see that more so than anything else, but that's just me. But now we will get into some of the different Scottish and Welsh castles that host a Green Lady. So first up, we have the Green Lady of Stirling Castle, which this castle is known to host several different colored spirits. But like I said, the focus today is on the Green Ladies, and if you want, I can always do another segment on the different, like the white lady in white, the gray lady, the pink lady, all of the different ones, because this is a very fascinating subject to me, and I'm very curious to what they all mean. But now we go on to the Green Lady of Stirling Castle. She is believed to be the servant of Mary Queen of Scots. One version of the story bestows that the servant had the second sight, whose premonition of disaster made her fearful for the Queen's safety. Grateful to the people of Stirling for their help in the past, the Queen allowed her to spend the night in her bedchamber to watch over her. The maid lit a taper to hold the darkness at bay, but dozed off. The smell of smoke and brightness of the flames woke the servant up, but she struggled to wake the Queen. Thankfully, she managed to get her out of the room, but many believe that the flames licking at her own green dress caused the wounds she couldn't survive. And that comes from the Stirling Ghost Walk from 2009. Now, she's been seen around the castle, and some speculate she's looking for her mistress. Another of the legends says that the Green Lady was the daughter of a commander at the castle. She was also having an affair with one of the soldiers in her father's command from the Elphinstone Tower. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to pick up this thing where I think it's going to be a lot of tragedy that follows, which is understandable for the times, but like, I don't know, either one of those legends are very, very tragic and interesting, to say the least. But the author of this does make note that whichever lady you see, you should be careful not to look in their eyes, because the legend says that if you do, you will never see another dawn. And yeah, that's a very, very interesting, foreboding warning there. But I digress. Let's get on to castle number 2. So, this next tragedy-filled story we are talking about is The Green Lady of Caerphilly Castle. Gilbert de Clare built this 13th century castle in mid-Glamorgan, Wales. Gilbert married a French princess by name of Alice of Englern, which I am so sorry if I mispronounced that. And then along came a knight called Gruffudd the Fair, as he visited the castle and caught Alice's eye. The pair became lovers until Gruffudd confessed the relationship to a monk. The two-faced friar told Gilbert about the affair, who sent Alice back to France, and then he proceeded to hang Gruffudd. When Gilbert sent word to Alice about her lover's execution, she dropped dead from shock. And despite the fact that she was in France at the time, her spirit now haunts Caerphilly Castle. She is clad in a green gown that some believe to represent Gilbert's envy. For those who are able to go, apparently if you pay attention to the ramparts, some of the sightings occur there, and they believe it is to be Alice, going back and forth, looking for the spirit of Gruffudd. So, yeah, I am noticing a huge trend of, tragedy and, lovers who end up, losing one another. So I'm very curious to if this trend continues throughout these stories. So for this next one, I'm going to be switching between 2 different articles because whenever I first started researching into the Green Ladies, I stumbled upon this article first before I found the one that has the 5 different castles. And it is definitely on the more tragic side. And unfortunately, the castle one doesn't go into the detail that the other one does, so I will read both because I feel it has a little bit more information to what happened. And yeah. So without further ado, the Green Lady of Crath's Castle. The 16th century Crath's Castle in Aberdeenshire, I'm so sorry, boasts its own Green Lady. She paces back and forth in a single room near the fireplace. Sometimes she appears alone, other times she holds an infant. Even Queen Victoria witnessed her. The Queen reported seeing a green mist float across the room. It picked up a child-sized spectral figure, and the pair disappeared into the fireplace. No one knows who she is, as with many female ghosts, some believe she was a 17th century servant who became pregnant. As an unmarried woman, pregnant by one of the Burnett family, she didn't have a great future ahead of her. Or did she have a future at all? In the 1800s, workmen discovered the skeletons of a woman and child beneath the hearthstone during renovations. And visitors have noted in the past there is a sense of dread or extreme cold when they enter the room. If she's seen, it can herald danger or even death for the Burnett family. It's a bit worrying that a family in 2016, when they were visiting, are pretty sure they might have captured her in the background of their family picture. So that was from the Icy Sedgwick. I'm so sorry. And then I will be going over to the established titles, which I will also link down below. And I don't know if I will necessarily read the entire thing, because there is quite a bit. But I will continue. The identity of this enigmatic apparition remains a mystery, but one theory suggests she may have been one of the Burnett Lard's daughters. According to the story, she entered a relationship with a stable boy and became pregnant, managing to conceal her condition for a time. However, her secret was revealed after she gave birth, provoking a furious reaction from her father. Not long after, both the young lady and her baby mysteriously vanished. Interestingly, there might be a grain of truth in this legend. In the 1800s, during renovations in the Green Lady's room, the Green Lady of Crath's Castle continues to show her presence even today. An Australian tourist visiting the castle found herself alone in the chambers. Just as soon as she was on the staircase leading to the Green Lady's room, she distinctly heard a voice in her ear, advising her not to enter the next room and leave immediately. Startled, she hurried down the spiral staircase, swiftly exited through the main door, much to the surprise of the guide on reception. No amount of persuasion could entice her to return and complete the tour. Now, I will say, for those who are like, oh, I would have just gone back in, I'm not scared. Having been scared out of a room by a unseen force, yeah, I don't think I would have necessarily gone back and finished the tour. But also, that was at the beginning of this year, so, who's to really say until you're in that position whether or not you're gonna go back to it? But, if I'm in Scotland, I guess I would be okay, I'm paying extra money to be here and do this, so I might as well complete this tour. But to actually get warned to stay out is kind of scary. I kid you not, I have been told to get out of a room before and to get running, so I take those words to heart, not gonna lie. But yes, that is the Green Lady of Crath's Castle. And on to the next. The next Green Lady is the Green Lady of Fyvie Castle. Another entry for Aberdeenshire, yes. Fyvie Castle boasts a rather sad Green Lady. In this 13th century, Thomas the Rhymer, a seer and bard, predicted no male heir would be born at Fyvie. For 6 centuries, this turned out to be the case. The only sons were born at other castles. According to legend, Dame Lilias Drummond arrived at the castle in 1592, but she only bore her husband, Lord Sutton, daughters. Lord Sutton planned to marry a younger woman in his search for an heir, and starved Dame Lilias to death in the Douglas room. Others say he poisoned her. The legend further claims that scratching noises and heavy sighs outside the chamber window accompanied the wedding night of Lord Sutton and his second wife. The words "D. Lilias Drummond" have been captured upside down on the sill outside. Bear in mind the window was 50 feet above the ground. The Suttons lost Fyvie to the Gordons, who saw Lilias as a harbinger of doom, much like the Green Lady at Craths. Various family members died after sightings of the Green Lady, even as late as 1925. Some sightings report her figure bears a skeletal face, while others see a normal woman. In some cases, she wears green or is accompanied by a green hue. Visitors report cold spots or overwhelming feelings of sadness in the Douglas room. She sometimes announces her presence with scent of rose petals. That is so upsetting. Like, she deserved better, and I hope that the Lord never had sons, because that's just that's not cool. Granted, that was the big thing back then, but still, yeah, like, fuck that guy. But yeah, I think definitely a extremely sad story. Like, I didn't think it was going to get sadder than the previous one, but I was incorrect about that. I'm so sorry. But we have one more to go, so let's get into this. So the final Green Lady we are talking about is the Green Lady of Skipness Castle. Skipness Castle stands by Loch Fyrie on the Kintyre Peninsula. Construction began in the early 13th century, but later owners added to the building up until the 16th century. This Green Lady protects the house and has done so for centuries. In one tale, a rival clan planned to attack the castle. The Green Lady used her supernatural powers to confuse them. They scattered and left the area. Their wits only returned when they left the area. The clan tried to head back to the castle, but the confusion also returned. She's described as being child-sized with blonde hair. A helpful spirit, she cleaned and tidied around the castle, even feeding the hens, though her slightly obsessive nature led her to allegedly almost kill a man for sleeping in the wrong bed. The castle has also stood empty since the 17th century, so who knows what the Green Lady is up to these days. I think that was potentially, like, the best way to leave off on, but like, also really fascinating that the Green Lady in this one is pretty much considered to be a child. Like, we have the Green Lady of Craths Castle, who's seen with a child, like a baby spirit in her arms, but for this one to be an actual child, like, it makes me very curious to what happened there, which, is also really tragic, but, like, the fact that she's kind of, like, in the sense, kind of in that trickster, like, you mess with, this castle, I'm going to fuck with you and make your day rough, but also, I'm gonna help you clean up around the place, but don't sleep in the wrong bed, you're going to regret it. So I don't know. I kind of want to. That one's kind of interesting. I like that one a lot. But yes, that is the end of the Green Ladies that were from like this article. Honestly, I would love to go and like visit these. Not necessarily see the Green Ladies, because it seems like if you do, it's kind of a bad thing and just brings like really bad, luck and potential death. But like Scotland has always fascinated with me, same with Wales. So I'm like, I really want to go. Just because also like the scenery and the castles, and it's just breathtaking. But tell me down below and leave a comment on which Green Lady you found the most fascinating. If you would like me to do a series revolving around like the different ladies, also leave that in the comments. Tell me which one you would want me to look into next. And I want to thank everyone so much for listening. Please remember that you can find the podcast. Gotta find my notes. On Podbean, Amazon Music Audible, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Listen Notes, Podchaser, Boomplay, Podcast Addict, and Deezer. I am still working on trying to get it to iTunes, but I'm having a little more difficulty with that one. But eventually it will be on there. But like I said, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for coming on this adventure with me. And I can't wait for the next episode and adventure. All right. Bye, guys.